Okay, let's get started with shout out news. If you're looking for shoes for your husband that are overpriced and used, look no further. Kim Zolciak is now selling Kroy's size 13, big wiener, shoes. So I haven't seen her say anything about him, just that, he's got a lot of shoes. He doesn't really wear them. Of course, it's a lot of worn once, never worn, brand new. I don't know. I just hope they're getting somebody to buy this stuff, don't you? I mean, who knows? Bethenny Frankel made a video this morning kind of updating us on this reality union thing that she wants to do. She always has a lot of things in the air, right? She is very like me. When she gets stuck on something, she can tend to hyper focus. I sort of relate to Bethenny on that for sure. If you didn't watch her YouTube channel show from yesterday, it's a 15-minute behind the scenes of her interview with Jill Zarin, the podcast interview. It just made me feel even more bad for Jill Zarin. I just feel like Bethenny set the whole thing up, like with her coming to her house. She didn't come inside her main house. She came in like this extra area, this basement type area that they set up last minute. She was buying her a gift, but then it was, the gift didn't come in time. So she's like shopping at her own house for gifts and stuff. It was just weird. I felt like Jill came into it like, on her, like nervous or something. And Bethenny definitely felt like she had the upper hand in the whole thing. I also feel like, what did Bethenny pay her, or did she? I mean, Bethenny is definitely making money off of this on YouTube. She's definitely making money on her podcast, Apple Podcasts. So I don't know, like, what is Jill getting out of it? There's like 5 different podcasts. So the things they clipped out yesterday said, we did this. There's 5 podcasts and a YouTube show. And I'm like, 5 podcasts? Like, what are they talking about? There's like, if you look under your Apple Podcast, there's Rewives by Bethenny Frankel. There's like a 7-minute clip, a 2-minute clip, a 5-minute clip, a 13-minute clip, a 52-minute clip podcast where they recap episode 1 of Roni. I didn't even know they did that. Like, I feel like I do follow Bethenny and Jill Zarin, and I didn't even know anything about it. So who knows when they posted that. This is all on top of the 1.5-hour podcast they did together, like on July 17th. It's a lot. Talk about milking it, but who knows? It's just something I didn't know about, and I didn't know last week's YouTube show of Bethenny was less chaotic. It was more like one subject. It was easier to follow. It wasn't so whatever. This Wednesday was back to like, everything going on. It was just, she was chaotic getting ready for Jill Zarin, but they're also like trying food out from some sandwiches from someplace. It was crazy. Let me know what you think about it. And let me, the comments under Bethenny's thing are like, oh my God, we could watch this forever. I love this show. I want to see Bethenny and Jill on forever. I mean, are they being honest, or are they just writing shit that they hope Bethenny like comments back to and says like, oh yeah, because she does get in her comments. I noticed this morning that 12 hours before, which I was awake at that time, I just didn't notice it, she had commented on my TikTok video. It wasn't even that nice of one. I was sort of making fun of her for like posting that this guy that she got this massage from Snooze or something, some Soothe app, some guy named Darren. And I said something like, oh, she's going to make him famous. I didn't really understand her comment, but the fact that she wasn't mean to me and didn't block me or say, hey, hag, why are you talking about me? I take it as a win. Those comments are plants, it sounds like to keep people talking about her. Is that what you mean? I mean, definitely us fans, listeners, friends, community, whatever you call ourselves, chumps, as Jeff Lewis calls them, we love when someone comments back. Like, I love looking at the Jeff Lewis Live coffee pictures and somebody says something about the chump, like, especially if it's mean, and then they respond back to them like, hey, back off, don't be such a bitch to me or something like that. So I think it is exciting when they comment back, right? When they get comfortable in comments. Anyways, speaking of comfortable in comments, Rick and Kelly, they get a lot of comments on their YouTube channel. I watched it this morning because the title said something about Dorit Kemsley. It was like breaking news, clickbait, I don't know. Dorit Kemsley from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Remember when like her husband was in London, she was home alone with the 2 kids, and someone broke into her house? It wasn't just a break-in, y'all. This was what I call what they call a home invasion. In other words, she was home, her kids were home, the guys were talking to her, like saying, you know, like really nasty, horrible, horrific stuff. And she eventually got them to leave her phone and to leave her and the kids, and gave them a lot of stuff. Rick said that this guy that did it got arrested. I couldn't find anything about that, but I also kept wondering, why are no other Bravo accounts talking about this? Like, why am I learning about this breaking news from Rick and Kelly instead of like all these other Bravo accounts that would cover it first? So I don't know. Oh my God. Thank you, Robin. Hi, Sarah, and all the beautiful, positive, uplifting chumpets. I love this every day. That is so nice, Robin. Shout out. So let me know. I know Jeff Lewis sleuths are the best about finding out information. Let me know if this guy that did the home invasion, because he also robbed a bunch of other famous people, Usher, he did a lot of other people, but I think it's 2 different things. I think maybe she had her home broken into during like, you know, when he was fake looking like a realtor, like somebody interested in looking for a house. And I think there was another instance where she had this home invasion. They had the video of it, but she didn't have her house alarm on. And that is how the people got in. And that's why even Rick and Kelly admit, just like Dolly Girl saying, I looked it up too, strange. I just didn't understand the story. But even Rick and Kelly admitted that a lot of people were saying this sounds suspicious, right? I mean, why didn't you have your house alarm on? Your husband's out of town. You're rich. You have a lot of jewelry and stuff like that. You're home with the 2 kids in LA. Now, this was a couple years ago. I think it was 2018 when it happened. Damn, y'all. 2018 is 5 years ago. Okay. Now I'm kind of freaked out. That is crazy. I don't know. I'll have to look into it a little more. But if anyone knows more about it or knows an article, send it to me, because clearly Google failed me this morning and I didn't really get to look into it much. Vanderpump Rules. So these pictures come out of Lala like mad. And people said that she was like talking to the producers and like she was like wiping a tear away. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Even though, like I said yesterday, I've said multiple times, I kind of don't want to keep getting spoilers for Vanderpump. I feel like as much as Sheena and Lala tell us stuff like on their Amazon lives or what have you, and people get, what do you call it? Paparazzi pictures, or people that just happen to be at the restaurant or taking pictures and videos of them. I don't want to learn so much where I'm really not interested in season 11. You know what I mean? Like I still want there to be some sort of like, I don't know everything that's going on with enough to keep me interested in season 11, especially if Rachel Leviss is not going to come back. And especially if Ariana and Tom Sandoval aren't going to talk or have any scenes together. Like, come on, you got to give it to us. You know what your job is. Please do it like as a real reality star. But now someone says the reason she was crying is because Randall Emmett, her ex, who she has the baby Ocean with, had come into SUR. So I had already seen those pictures because, as I said, there's lots of spoilers going on with Vanderpump Rules during the filming. But I also was like, why is Randall going to SUR? Like, that is clearly set up, clearly gross. Like, none of those people are his friends. I mean,